Okay, I think we're just going to go ahead and get rolling along here a little bit. We don't have, we've got Jolie and Chad in. What we'll do is record this for posterity. We'll be able to share this with some of the volunteers that we've gotten in the Decriminalize Charleston group. First thing I'd want to do to anybody watching this as a recording is just say welcome and thank you for joining us. We're here tonight as our first meeting with the Decriminalize Charleston portion of our Low Country Normal. It's a project we believe we want to start working on here in the Low Country. And the reasons for me are, although we have a couple of medical bills that have been filed here at the state level, you have to be near death to qualify. And it's my understanding they've increased the penalties for other violations of having illegal cannabis. To me, that's unacceptable. I think it's going to do more harm to more cannabis supporters than it will do good. The other one is a decrim bill at the state level. I believe that is a decrim bill with a small fine attached to it. But also in that same bill, they're looking to reduce penalties of methamphetamine and cocaine base. That is a sure way to kill a marijuana bill here in South Carolina, is attach it to other substances like that. So I don't really think that's going to go anywhere. I don't think that's going to benefit us in any way. And I wanted to consider an initiative, voter initiative for a while. I just did not know what to do or how to do it. So I had the wonderful folks at the Sensible Movement Coalition contact me. Chad Thompson and Jolie Townsend-Moyer are on with us tonight. And basically they're looking for sensible decriminalization, which is in essence, no fines, no jail, no court costs. That to me, it sounds like a great plan. I like it. And it sounds also like it simplifies probably keeping your record clean in the future, where, you know, the ones with fines may carry misdemeanor black marks on your record. I don't know how this would work with a record because it does mention a misdemeanor charge, but that everything is basically suspended as far as fines and jail times. Would that also be, in essence, just either never recorded or expunged at some point?
So the whole point, Scott, of, by the way, great job explaining sensible decriminalization. Regular decriminalization, as you mentioned, has a fine attached to it, although it's small. Police still charge. There is still a record. With sensible decriminalization, there's no fine, no jail time, no court costs, as you mentioned. The real key here is what we're looking to do is to drive the police not even to charge. So technically they have the right, because it is illegal, to charge with a misdemeanor. But because all the teeth are essentially removed, what we're seeing is they're not even charging. They're just simply just walking away without even charging. It's a policy to kind of push non-enforcement, similar to jaywalking. Jaywalking is a crime. It's illegal, but yet it's rarely, if ever, enforced, just due to the low priority of the charge.
And being that Charleston, South Carolina is probably always one of the top 10 travel destinations in the world, it would be great to have decriminalization here. I don't know if it would increase our tourist traffic, but it certainly wouldn't hurt anything.
I agree.
The next thing I want to sort of discuss real quick after the brief description of what is sensible decriminalization, on our Facebook volunteer group, the Decriminalize Charleston, South Carolina group, not the page, I have posted a copy of the initiative guide for Ohio. Now, Chad tells me he's rewriting it, plugging in all the right information for South Carolina, but there's a lot of good information for us for organizing in the Ohio version of this guide. So I ask everybody, please go out and read this. if you plan on helping us in any way as part of organizing or signature collection. Might not be necessary for signature collection, but let's be thorough. Go ahead and go out and read it. The other thing I did want to mention also was that we have a copy of the initiative for Myrtle Beach. They're going through the same process as we are here in Charleston. We're hoping in the not too distant future to have our copy. And what this has is, for the most part, the initiative itself, the petition, the signature sheets for that petition, and then it looks like an affidavit for the circulators to sign. So when they're submitting the petition, they've claimed that they have witnessed all the signatures. Also, making sure that the signatures are of registered voters is important. So we'll probably be having voter registration cards on hand. We'll be registering them on site when we're out and about all over Charleston. And I've mentioned to Chad, I'd also like to extend it just a little bit because it's convenient for me to James Island, the town of James Island, and also to Folly Beach. It's small, but I think it'd be an easy place to get the petition signed and get it on their ballot as well.
Yeah, that's a good idea, Scott. Those are some really good small areas that we could definitely do.
All right. The only, let's see, today I did receive an email from the local Voters Registration Board, scvotes.org. They gave me the numbers that they say are registered voters in Charleston, the city of Charleston, the town of Folly Beach, and the town of James Island. Chad, I did send you an email on that. It seemed like those numbers were kind of high, especially for Charleston, based on the population versus the number of registered voters. So we'll see if we can get those validated. But otherwise, we're moving forward. Any comments from anybody out there?
Yeah, those did look very high, Scott. I'm not sure. That was the information I received as well for Charleston, like 95,000 registered voters out of 135. That definitely seems very high. All the numbers seem high. The ones that you sent me for the two other small towns, I mean, it's somewhere around 85% registration.
Right, like Folly Beach, I think, shows me like somewhere around, what was it, 2,700 population, and they were telling me like 2,200 are registered to vote. That's
Right,
a pretty
right.
high number.
It definitely seems unusual.
Do you know if there's a way we can verify that somehow?
I looked on the web. Go ahead, Jolie.
I'm not sure if they have online verification in South Carolina like they do in Ohio. We can look ours up online and check them.
I wasn't able to look up Charleston. They didn't have a really good, easy way. I had to rely on them to tell me.
There was all broken down by precinct, and everything around here, the precincts you're going and voting, your Charleston and Island, it's like a patchwork quilt. My neighbor might be the town of James Island. I'm the city of Charleston. My other neighbor across the street might be one or the other. You never know unless you look at the color of the garbage can.
Wow. Now, it's my understanding, Scott, and maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong or clarify if I'm correct. In South Carolina, to register to vote, to actually vote, they have to show identification for their registration to be complete. Is that correct, verifying their address?
I always show my ID, so they do ask for it. Yes, they do. Ask
Okay,
for
so that was my understanding from looking at the South Carolina voter registration cards.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be especially important when you guys are registering people to vote to do it online, right there on site if possible, and complete the whole process with their identification and everything you need right then.
Yeah.
Can you put the ID online?
I believe so. I believe you can you can do the whole thing online. But it said if you choose to fill out a physical voter registration card and you do not provide the identification at the time that you're filling out the card and submitting it, that you will have to show that identification before you vote, which people still would be able to vote if they complete that. However, they will not have their signature counted as a valid signature if their registration is not complete at that time.
Okay.
Oh, really?
So that's the importance of making sure that their entire voter registration process is complete at the time they sign the petition.
Okay, that's good to know.
That was a good catch, Jolie.
We don't want to lose those signatures because.
Wait, are you sure, Jolie? Are you sure that their signature won't count if they don't have the ID attached?
Well, Chad, they're not considered a registered voter until that process is complete. Like they. I'm going according to the registration card. Go ahead and look. You should still have the one from Myrtle Beach that we sent.
Yeah.
And we can verify that, of course, and I would recommend we do so. But better to err on the side of caution, because you want all your signatures to be valid signatures when you turn in, as many as possible to be valid.
Absolutely. Okay.
In Ohio, we register or update voter registrations for each signature. And that way we know when we submit them here, they're valid signatures. The only ones that would not be considered valid would be people that have moved residences between the time, you know what I mean, that they've signed and they were qualified, you know, by the Board of Elections. So.
Okay. All right. That was the most part. Covered everything I wanted to touch base on tonight. We definitely want to keep these meetings going every week, try to keep everybody motivated and get the process rolling. On the Facebook group that is for volunteers, I think we have about 35 people that signed on. How many will actually get involved and active, I'm not sure, but we'll keep our fingers crossed and see if we can move this forward.
What you're going to have to do, Scott, is to constantly, on a weekly basis, cultivate through that list. And you may have one or two a week show up or get involved, and probably even one or two different people. But definitely that list needs cultivated. I've noticed if I put in a personal phone call and invite them personally, hey, can you come help me this week get signatures? Or this week we're having a meeting, can you come? It definitely ups the rate of people who commit and then the people that follow through.
Okay.
Also, Jolie, I looked at that paper. That's not how I read it. We're definitely going to have to get clarification.
Okay, I'll make a note of that.
The way it looks to me is just that you have to have some sort of proof if it's your first time registering. If not, that you have to show ID when you vote. But I still think that signature would count. But we have to, obviously, we can call and double check that.
Okay.
They have a huge voter registration rate right now. They're like 85%, you know, citywide in most of these cities, which they must be. Hey, Scott, do they register you when you like get a driver's license or something? Why do you think there's such a high registration rate?
Probably it, because you can register while you're getting your driver's license.
So they may even automatically do that, like, as a pretty heavy rule. That may be why there's such a heavy registration rate.
My understanding from talking to somebody at the ACLU down here, wasn't getting people to registered. It was getting them with proper ID to show.
Right. But okay, sorry to interrupt.
Okay. No, that was about it for tonight. I plan on doing this every Tuesday at same time, same place. And otherwise we'll communicate, you know, email or whatever we need to keep this rolling.
Sounds good, Scott.
Real nice to meet you. Chad, good to sort of put a name to a face there.
Yeah, I'm driving. My apologies.
Not a problem. And I have somebody, I'm not sure who, anonymous caller on.
216, that's probably Priscilla.
Yeah,
that's Priscilla.
Okay.
Priscilla's from Cleveland, Ohio. She's also part of our group, interested in helping out and getting you guys where you need to be.
All right. Well, I'm excited. I hope you got Myrtle Beach online. I hope I tried to plug it to the folks up at Columbia Normal, so I don't know if they've been in touch with you or not. But
No, there was an initial outreach, but not really. Then there's been no real communication established yet, but we're working on it. We'll see if we can't get everybody involved.
all right. Another one in the state, you might get a little more activity, although it's a small area, is Aiken Normal, AIKEN. You've been in touch with them as well? Okay.
Yep, absolutely. Now they've responded back as well.
Okay.
And then also there's also a group in Myrtle Beach called the Grandstand Freedom Fighters. I don't know if you've ever heard of them.
Yeah, I think I sent you their link or sent you their name.
Gotcha.
All right. Well, that's it for the evening. We'll look to touch base throughout the week a little bit. Otherwise, we'll see you back here next Tuesday.
Okay, sounds great. Thanks
All
a
right,
lot.
everybody. Thanks for coming on board.
Thank you.